Hello YouTube, and here's another YouTube exclusive on the channel. Thank you so much for your patience. We had some technical difficulties over the last week getting something recorded, whether it was actually on stream or in this case for YouTube. So sit back, relax, enjoy the list. Let us know in the comments what you think. The deck list is always in the description down below. We will be playing Obosh Rack Attack in Modern. Here we are with Obosh Rack Attack, as we're calling it. It's from Mr. Ducky from the 8 Rack, or just the Rack in general, Discord. If you do like this video and like the idea of the deck, definitely consider liking and subscribing to the channel. So now we've had a little bit of a practice with this, and if you were there, thank you for tuning into our stream. That link is down in the description below. We got about halfway through, and then things happened. Power went out, lost it. Really haven't played the deck since because of just some of the weather of late having some effects. So what do we have here? It's essentially a rack list. It splashes red, but we've done this before. We've played Kroxa, Skelemental, Red Rack, essentially. This one pivots. It does something slightly different, and it's kind of interesting because the meta is full of companions. We'll see what happens Monday. We're recording this on Sunday. But we'll see if companions remain around. And what does this deck do? Well, it does the rack thing. It does some interactions, but then it has this random Obosh kind of in here. And you don't get some of the 2-drops that you have, maybe a Smallpox list or a Wrench Mine in there. Other 2-drops as well, Collective Brutality. Instead, you go 1-3, and you play 1s and 3s, and then you have 5 for Obosh if you get there. What's interesting is that the rack itself is actually damage that's applying. Now, keep in mind, Shrieking Affliction is life loss, and I believe Davriel is also, let's see here. No, this one's dealing 2 damage as well, so there you go. So Davriel and rack synergizes with Obosh. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to use bolts, fatal pushes, maybe some Inquisition Thought Seizes, maybe Skelementals, strip the hand, do damage. And then you get this rack out, and the rack in general will do the damage. However, if you're able to land an Obosh just a turn later, you could be doing 6 damage a turn and closing that game out much faster. This is also a bit of a nod to Liliana to see if we can get Liliana to be useful and back in the hot seat here in Modern. This is Obosh Rack Attack, as I've called it. Red-Black Rack here in Modern. The matches are coming up. Let's get right into them. All right, here we go. Looking for our opponent. Match 1. Seeing if we can take Obosh Rack Attack into the leagues and maybe do well. There we go. We found our opponent. Let's play some Magic. Joining the match. Match 1. All right, we don't have to play first. Interesting enough, we haven't decided if that's the right play or not with the list with our minimal practicing here. I think you do want to be attacking your opponent fairly decently, so it's difficult to say whether or not playing or drawing first is. If you're playing traditional rack, you would draw. That way your opponent's not getting that extra draw. It is nice, though, when our opponent gets to choose that for us. Goblin Guide here. Swings in. And we have a Thoughtseize on top. Alright, let's go ahead and lead with just an Inquisition here to potentially steal just a burn spell of sorts. We have a Searing Blaze I don't care about, Skewer, and a Lava Spike here. I have a feeling I just take the Skewer here. I suppose I can just take the Lava Spike. The Skewer is more. Let's take Lava Spike. I don't think it really matters here. And we'll just pass the turn. Probably not wanting to really cash in on either of these Thought Seizes. We're going to take an additional 2 here, and the Mountain plus Bolt here will get rid of the Goblin Guide. There's a Fatal Push. That's actually really nice to see. I can save the Bolt for the Lurrus. What are Foothalls here? They don't skewer me. Go ahead and play red down here and pass. Theoretically, I could take that Skewer. I think we'll just let it roll here. I'm going to Fatal Push the Goblin Guide, allow the trigger to happen, hopefully draw our land. We are needing that 3rd land here to get things rolling. I'd prefer to do this after the trigger, though, for sure. Attacks. A little bit of a trigger here. Come on, land. There we go. There we go. Go ahead and get this Goblin Guide off the road here. So they have a Searing Blaze. What's frustrating about the Searing Blaze is that it can definitely hit our Thought Seizes. What optionally we have is the Searing Blaze can go ahead and hit a Seasoned Pyromancer, but I can get rid of maybe both of these Thought Seizes so I'm not taking as much damage. Now that would create a bunch of creatures here, and I'd also have to shock in. I'm debating whether that's a good idea or not to fetch shock and do all of this. I probably just need to go ahead and Thought Seize here and take some of these cards from them. And if need be, I'll take a little bit more cards than I need to. We have a fetch, we have a shock. We have a Boros Charm. It's pretty good. Alright, so I have a Lightning Bolt, a Searing Blaze, and a Skewer. I could take the Skewer here. I could also... You know what? I'd probably take Searing Blaze and Lightning Bolt and leave them with the Skewer and then try to get this Skelemental off. So Lightning Bolt here. I hate fetching and shocking here, but I think it's appropriate. We're going to go pretty low here. The Searing Blaze does 1, so it would kill the Skelemental. Let's get rid of the Skewer. Even though the Searing Blaze is there, the Searing Blaze won't be extra damage unless they have a land. We'll go ahead and pass the turn. They know I have an Obosh here, so they know the Searing Blaze could eventually be powerful. But let's see if we can't do something else. Liliana's a nice draw here. So I can go ahead and Liliana uptick and get rid of something here. I might just get rid of the Skelemental. Alright, so they drew a Bolt. We're at 2. The Searing Blaze goes away here. Because there's no Searing Blaze now. This would be 6, 7, 8, 9. And this would be damage here too. I'm going to get rid of the Seasoned Pyromancer. Being able to potentially bolt the upcoming Lurrus or bolt their face and then also do Skelemental feels pretty good. Maybe the Shrieking Affliction will be beneficial. Alright, so we have enough to go ahead and throw Lurrus out to us if they'd want to. They choose not to. They could crack and try to hit a bolt. Okay. I think to not die to something that's hasty here, let's go ahead and put Shrieking Affliction into play. I don't believe Seasoned Pyromancer is a good draw here. We're going to go up with Liliana. And we'll just pass the turn, holding Bolt up, and just in case they have a creature that tries to kill us. Obviously, this draw here can hit quite a few things. The couple Thought Seizes were a lot. So they take potentially damage here. It looks like... Okay, they got us. They top decked a Boros Charm. Lets them fire that off. So we have a burn opponent here. I think we can go ahead and beat this, though. We know exactly how we need to adjust here. So Thought Seizes come out. You don't want to be taking that extra damage that we were. And basically, things like Anger and Bone Crusher Giant can come in. Let's see here. I can probably get rid of one more thing for one more Anger. But I can also just leave myself with Lightning Bolts and Fatal Pushes. So these can come in. Thought Seizes are out. I think that's pretty good here. Liliana's maybe a little bit weaker, but if we can get a Liliana to stick, we'll be fine. And we also know that they're now burned, so we'll try not to keep hands that would cause damage. A lot of fetch lands would be bad here. And we could have made them, I guess, use all their spells. We just didn't know we were going to be drawing a Liliana that quickly. Alright, this hand seems decent. We'll keep. We have a removal spell. We have a way to get rid of something. We have another removal spell here. We don't have double red. That could become detrimental to us. We'll give it a shot, though. I like this Inquisition, though. I think Inquisition and them having 6 cards here, now 5. What do we got? We have a Lightning Bolt, a Swift Spear, a Stigma Lasher. This deals damage to creatures in the form of 1/1 counters. These are a little more expensive for them to deal with. Lightning Bolt goes to face. I have the stuff for the Swift Spear here. Huh. I think I just take a Bolt here. Take a Bolt, pass turn, plan to Fatal Push. Maybe Swift Spear or Bolt even the Stigma Lasher. I don't think I've seen a Stigma Lasher before. Alright, Monosphere Swift Spear swings in for 1, 1919. Alright, definitely needing that second red. I do have the Fatal Pushes up, which I could use, and I could get a Shrieking Affliction down. Let's go ahead and wait and see if I want a Lightning Bolt and Fatal Push here. It would be a Fetch Shock. May not be worth it, but we'll see. We also have a Lurrus to deal with at some point. What if Foothills? This is a pretty easy Fatal Push. That way they don't do any damage to us. Cracks Wooded Foothills. Probably just a basic. Nope. Sacred Foundry. Follows this up with a Stigma Lasher. So let's go ahead and fetch Shock here. That way I can kill this. We do know Lurrus is on its way. Gonna hope that maybe I can get something else down. The answer is no, but I will get a Rack plus a Shrieking Affliction down. Now this doesn't do anything to them this turn, but they'll probably play something this turn, probably play a land, maybe Lurrus, and then if I can get Skelemental down, we'll be in good shape. Looks like it's just Stigma Lasher, though. We follow this up with a Mind Rake, which isn't too bad. Target player discards 2 cards. So we'll go ahead and cast that on them. Maintain our Skelemental here. They'll go down to 1 and start taking some damage here. Let's see if the race happens. See what their last card is that they do want to keep. Swift Spear and a Boros Charm hit the bin. No land. They didn't have a land, though. Rack and Shrieking Affliction go off here at the start of turn 4. I'm going to knock them down a few ticks here. Now they're going to have 2 cards here. Skelemental can probably at least get rid of 1 card. It might get rid of 2, depending on what happens here. And we draw another card I can't cast, needing that double red. Go ahead and pass the turn. Not a lot I can do in my current situation here. They hold cards. Rack does a little bit of damage, but not a lot. Looks like they're going to come in for 2 and hold up. Oh, by the way, we can't gain life. That's a random ability on this. I'm not too concerned about that ability. Red lands. We get a Bolt. All right. We'll go ahead and use the Bolt on the Stigma Lasher. If they tap out in any capacity here, I'll use it now. That way we don't have to worry about this in the future. All right. Boros Charm, we're at 8. They take another couple points of damage here due to the Rack. Down to 6, draws a card. Again, they probably don't want to be forcing these in. We get another Urborg here, which doesn't do enough, and we're not going to draw off the castle, unfortunately, so we're going to just have to pass. Again, looking for that red. We did get the red off the Marsh Flats. We just happen to be drawing our only black sources here. The Skull Crack, we're at 5. They go down to 4. A Skelemental kills them. Cracks the Sunbake Canyon to draw a card here. Skelemental kills them. I need a red land. Can I get one? The answer is no. We'll pass the turn. I don't think they can do 5 with 1, even 2 lands, typically. They don't take any more damage, though. They suspend a Rift Bolt. I need the red land here. What I can do is actually draw with Castle Locthwain, but if I do that, I have to hit exactly... Excuse me. Have to hit exactly Mountain. So I'm going to have to pass, and the Castle Locthwain being used here. We'll have to draw the land naturally. Oh! That works too. That works too. In we go. 6 damage. We would have gotten the basic Mountain anyway. Bam. There we go. All right. Close one. Close one. Opponent held up on lands. Maybe I should bring in Pillage. All right, so we have the Wither thing that we saw there. I kind of want an extra Anger now that I'm on the draw, not on the play. And because we're like that, I'm almost thinking like an Unearth or something can probably be pulled out. Take the Unearth out and bring the Anger in. Yeah, it's a bit later in the draws because it's, 3-drop. But at the same time, wiping away 2 creatures and making Lurrus less painful would be nice. I don't think Spellbomb or the Soul Guide Lantern really has made sense in the burn matchup even with a Lurrus. I think we have plenty of removal. They usually only get 1 thing back before you can remove another. So this Unearth is really tempting. The other reason not to bring out the Unearth and maybe bring out something like Liliana or even the Mind Rake is because my opponent, in theory, will be just trying to slam us with a bunch of stuff here. And so maybe the Unearth on like a Skelemental is just a lot of extra damage, and that might be a better way. This is also a cycle card, which is nice. Liliana is going to make removal of things, but they don't necessarily care unless we have a rack effect out. In that light, maybe it's smart to just pull out a Davriel here for the Anger. Davriel, although great and an extra rack effect, 1 rack effect probably not concluding this game, although it did decently there. I think that removal could be important. All of these things weighed in. I think Davriel is going to be the one that we pull out. We'll keep Liliana as it's also removal, and the Unearth reanimating a Pyromancer or a Skelemental. That feels like that would be the way we push enough damage through. We're likely never getting to Obosh either. This would definitely be one of those, hey, let's just play some Collective Brutalities and not worry about it. This hand looks great. We're going to go ahead and keep it. No hand disruption necessarily. But we have a Fatal Push, we have a Bone Crusher Giant, we have ways to remove a lot of their creatures if they're creature heavy here. Let's go ahead. I want to be using probably this Fatal Push here. Let's go ahead and put an Urborg into play and go with that. If I can follow it up with a Bone Crusher Giant, that would be fabulous. They fetch, they shock, they're going to Eidolon, we're going to Fatal Push. We're going to get rid of this Eidolon here with the Bone Crusher Giant. I feel pretty confident I want to do this just right now. We can do it off of a basic Mountain. Yeah, we'll just do it now. There's the argument, wait, they do this, that. If they have a random Boros Charm, it feels like just taking 2 and they keep their creature. We'll do this. I can play out Seasoned Pyromancers next. It's off of a shock. We can Mind Rake them. A lot of things. Creature here, Suspended Rift Bolt, and a Lightning Bolt here. I definitely feel like Seasoned Pyromancer is the right play. So we have the rack left. In a way, I don't want to get rid of this last land here. Playing Seasoned Pyromancer out and doing, I don't know, Seasoned Pyromancer plus maybe Mind Rake is probably good. The Mind Rake's interesting, but it's probably not winning us this game. And if I do Seasoned Pyromancer plus Mind Rake here, I put up defenses for the Swift Spear, and I dig a few more cards deeper. That looks fantastic. Excellent. All right, so Skelemental is going to bash in here. We're going to take 3 to the face. We're going to go to 6. They have card plus a draw here. Opponent can definitely win this. They are burned. They're just going to hit, and be done with it. I can play Marsh Flats out, do Skelemental plus the Marsh Flats on the rack, and I can hit them for quite a bit of damage. An easy chump block here. Chump block, leave something back, chump block again. There's a land, they fetch, so this might be a Searing Blaze. Could also be Lurrus plus something. Lurrus plus another Swift Spear here. All right, so interesting situation we find ourselves in. We have a Lurrus and a Swift Spear. I could block to kill the Swift Spear, but it's just going to get reanimated back through Lurrus. So let's go ahead and just chump block here and plan to do a little bit of extra blocking if we can. We need to live for the extra turn here. They give back Swift Spear and they have the unknown card in hand. All right, we hit a Castle Lochthwain, which is actually really nice. We have 2 turns here until we get this Obosh. We have enough blockers here, and we can get rid of that final card. Now, they can always try to do some chump blocking or whatever, but they're basically going to get an Eidolon back, so we need to probably set up in such a way that that Eidolon doesn't hurt us too much. How do we do that? We have the Bone Crusher Giant here. We have the rack we could be playing out. I mean, we're going to just slam probably a big Obosh here. That last card is definitely a pain here. We can play Castle out pretty safely. Skelemental gets the last card out. If it's a creature, they just get to play it out. This Bone Crusher Giant's not going to be able to be played really because of the Eidolon this coming turn. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to have 2 turns here. The 2 turns would play Obosh and then Lightning Skelemental. They'll have an Eidolon in play. I think we have to, unfortunately, just do a Skelemental here, hit them and rack them, and see if that's enough. And we're going to leave some blockers back here. Luckily, I can make more blockers with Seasoned Pyromancer and hope they just can't clear them. And that's going to be probably the hope here. We get rid of a Sunbaked Canyon, which isn't a bad card to get rid of. We get a rack down. We lose our Skelemental here. Hit them with the rack. And now it's all up to the top of the library. It's a Goblin Guide. So that's nice for them to play that first. Maybe they're thinking I'm going to block something that can be brought back. I think they should be playing the Eidolon based on where my life total is. Alright, they come in with all the creatures. We get a peek at the top. The top is a Bloodstained Mire. So I get to block here. I guess I just block 2 extra damage here. I get to trade this. They replay it out. They might play this Eidolon out. And I take 1 here. They're going to take 6. Hold on. If I don't attack, they're going to jam an Eidolon here. They'll have 2 blockers here. I play Obosh down. Unfortunately, due to the 2 blockers, they can keep themselves alive. So I guess I block like this and this and keep myself as much alive as possible. I'll have Obosh here plus this blocker. They're going to have, let's just assume they play Eidolon next. So they'll have Eidolon down, I'll be at 5. They're going to lose this card. They're going to have a 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 damage. And I can block 3, 6, and a 2, go to 4. Sorry, I wouldn't be going to 4. I would take 4. So this line, if if they top deck like a Sacred Foundry, it looks like I could win the game. And this assumes that they play something here with Lurrus, which they've already done, so I expect them to do so. Eidolon's played here. Our top of Obosh is about all we can do here. I do appear to be flooding out a little bit. But we'll do Obosh here. Now they can't cast really anything here when they take the rack damage. So we just leave Eidolon around. We didn't even factor that in. So due to Eidolon and now the rack going off here, they can't cast and kill me. So this is actually critical. They could attack with Lurrus and then if they have the burn spell. That's something they could do. Because they'll gain 3, go back up to 4, and then be able to burn me out. But I block. They can't do it before combat. It would have to be Boros Charm, it looks like. Swings with everything. Expected. Top of the library is a swamp. We've been flooding out real hard this game. It's pretty easy. Block and block. I take 2, 3. They gain life. They fire it off now, they lose. They have to allow this all to resolve. There we go. We got it. Woo! Little lucky there. What was the top of the library? A Fatal Push. Wouldn't have been very helpful with the Eidolon out. That Eidolon cost them. It looks like we get it. There you go. Taking out Lurrus-Burn with the Obosh rack attack. Whew. That's a great start. I don't know what this feeling is. It's fantastic. Match 1 complete. Let's see if we can keep it going here in Modern. Nail biter there. Nail biter. That's what we like, though. Match 1 in the books. Match 2 coming up. Looking for our opponent. Playing Obosh rack attack in Modern. And our opponent was found. Nice and quick. Easy done there. Thinking I need an extra red source. However, we got there last game. Was tight, though. Alright, our opponent is Lex Mart. We are on the draw, it looks like. Again, don't need to pick. I don't want to pick. Show the Obosh. We have 80 cards here. My opponent shows us a Yorion. This hand looks fantastic to be battling a Yorion deck. So we're going to go ahead and keep... we can Inquisition or Thoughtseize something away. Maybe follow it up with another rack type effect. And then maybe Mind Rake this game. They typically like to draw a bunch. So we'll see where this leads us. We have a Breeding Pool, probably an Abundant Growth, or maybe a Goose. There we go. Abundant Growth. Redraws their card. Alright, so I have a backup Thoughtseize here. This is quite a bit of damage that we'll need to be taking. But let's go ahead and start with an Inquisition and see, do I really need to be doing a Thoughtseize here? We have a Mana Leak, which is kind of annoying to see. And we have an Archmage Charm, plus Mystic Sanctuary and Cryptic Command. So let's go ahead and get rid of the Mana Leak for starters. We know what's in the hand, and pass the turn. We might be able to just Mind Rake this one. We'll see, we'll see. Island and passes the turn back. Alright. I could double down on Thoughtseize here. I do need double red. Doubling down on Thoughtseizes is painful, but I'm for it. I'm for it. Start with Thoughtseize number 1. We're going low. We're going to take everything from our opponent. I could Thoughtseize Mind Rake, or sorry, Thoughtseize Rack here as well. Wonder if waiting on that Archmage Charm makes a whole lot of sense. So they can definitely counter with Archmage Charm if I don't take it here. I really just feel like it's probably just Archmage Charm and Cryptic here. I know they can grab one of these back. But let's just strip them of everything, and then if I have to, I'll start Mind Raking them. I believe they have enough lands currently, but when we make them discard some stuff, we'll feel pretty good here. Who needs cards in your hand? And if they top deck a land here, they play it. They'd be at 3 cards, and if I top deck my own land, I get to Skelemental them possibly, dealing some damage. So we have 3 lands to go. Lightning Skelemental is our priority to be played. I expect Flooded Strand here. There we go. Alright, Field, Sanctuary, Unknown. We do hit our land, so I'm going to go ahead and go for the Lightning Skelemental. This discards 2, this discards 2, all kinds of stuff. If they have a counter here, that's fine. It's basically discard 1. Discard 1, rack, mind rake them. We do have a fetch, we do have a shock. Looks like they might have top deck an Archmage Charm. And they do, counter. So, discard 1. Fine by me. Mind rake maybe would have been just a touch better because the 6 damage may matter here in a bit. But we'll see. Mystic Sanctuary, my opponent's going to get something on top. They opt for a Cryptic Command. Fine by us. Skelemental would be really nice to connect with here. We have a Cryptic Command coming. I could attempt a Mind Rake and then play the rack. Let's see if they have another counter here. It's Field plus Unknown card. We'll connect here, pass turn, 6 damage in, 8 to 11. We have the rack, we have the Mind Rake. I can actually cast this Mind Rake to get rid of the Cryptic Command as well, which is nifty. And they'll likely counter it. I say likely. Maybe they won't. We can make us and them discard cards. It's a little awkward with the Bloodstain Mire, but I'm going to go ahead and do it with the overload cost so that I can get the Mind Rake, or the rack down. I expect this to be countered so that I'm going to then get Bloodstain Mire plus the rack into play. If they want to let this go, that's fine. Yorion is the only card that we know about other than the Cryptic Command picked up from the Archmage Charm. Alright, so they draw a card here, completely fine. We'll rack, we're going to play Bloodstain Mire, we'll pass turn. We're doing this because I can then hit Obosh here and we can pretty much kill them. Especially if they just play a Yorion. Land in play, shocks in Yorion being played. We need a land drop to win this game. At the same time, I have the Mind Rake as well, and that should basically win it in 2 turns. We're looking fabulous. Fabulous, but not out of the woods just yet. Abundant Growth returns 2 cards in my opponent's hand. That's really good. I'm going to cast a Mind Rake here. If they have a Force of Negation, fine. But if not, we just slam them with the Unearth, get around Yorion. Sorry, buddy. You're dead. You're dead. They block here with Yorion. They take 1 to the face. Rack goes off here. They take the 3 damage. We're going to game number 2. Rack them. Feels good. Feels good. Now this might be one that I would play and do on the draw because my opponent is planning to draw several cards here. The only thing I can really think of maybe bringing in here is the Pillages, perhaps Bone Crusher Giant, to just have something else to push through damage. The other thing we could consider is these Surgicals and Nile Spellbombs. We more than likely can get rid of Fatal Pushes here. Those will probably not be doing a whole lot. So if we can get a Liliana, we can probably grind them out here. Maybe it's just Surgical Extraction. Surgical plus the Spell Bombs here. Don't worry about the Pillage. That was a joke. Surgicals for something off of the Mystic Sanctuary. Nile Spell Bomb for just getting rid of some of that graveyard interaction. Get rid of the Fatal Pushes. The pillage could come in and kind of tweak after an abundant growth. Maybe mess them up a little bit on mana. This feels pretty good, though. I could bring in Bone Crusher Giant as another threat. I don't know if that is correct, but I think Inquisition Thoughtseize, a lot of those is good. My opponent's just playing lands and trying to keep up with some damage just by having a couple counters there. That's fine. It's when they have all those ETB things that are going to mess us up with them drawing another card that I think will have an issue. This hand has no lands. We can't keep this. As much as I like both Surgicals there. This land has one land. One land, no hand disruption, 3/3 drops. We'll probably have to mulligan this too. I have an uncastable bolt. I have a rack that's going to do nothing. I have a spell bomb that they don't care about for some time. Alright, this hand's not great either. Let's go ahead and keep it. We have to ditch two things here. I'm thinking Surgical doesn't totally make sense to keep. I don't know if I want Liliana or Seasoned Pyromancer. I'm going to go with Liliana here. Seasoned Pyromancer actually might turn into several threats, though, which would be nice. I have a bunch more Lilianas. I have 4 Lilianas. I have 2 Seasoned Pyromancers. Let's keep the one of the 2. And we'll see how this goes. This hand's looking really bad. We got a couple first, second draws that weren't all that great here. We probably have an Abundant Growth again. And we might just place a rack out. Honestly, I don't see this bolt doing a whole lot. Thoughtseize isn't bad, so let's go ahead and start there. See what we're playing against. Alright, so we have another Abundant Growth. We have 2 types of Teferis here. So Teferi, this one draws, this Abundant Growth draws. I think I just have to get rid of this Teferi and hope the Abundant Growths don't draw them into anything too crazy here. Cryptic and Teferi are going to be really problematic for us to beat. We're really behind here. Not a whole lot I can do about that. You could argue I could take the Abundant Growth. There's no draw this turn. I have the Bolt for the small Teferi. But if we can get maybe some stuff for the Seasoned Pyromancer to pitch away, Teferi, big one, won't be too much of a problem. Land drop and Abundant Growth on the snow-covered island, I presume, this turn. Alright, they leave a counter open. So we'll play rack number 1 here. They'll look to counter. They don't. Let's just leave the 1 rack in hand here. And we'll go little by little here. I don't think they're too concerned. Ice Fang Kodal. We're going to fetch Shock here. I'm going to go ahead and Bolt. The Ice Fang is worrisome enough. 3 damage, 2 damage across a couple turns could really be the difference in this game. We have Field here. I have 2 Blood Crypts. They hook the field up with Abundant Growth, so they're actually not going to use their field here anytime soon. They follow this up with a Ice Fang Kodal as well, it looks like. Stoneforge. Alright, our Lightning Bolt would have been better on that. Batter Skull, I'm not sure I can beat easily here. Play Rack, pass turn. They're going to get to Stoneforge here. Rack's doing nothing because my opponent draws a lot. Maybe we ditch a Rack or 2 here and go for Bone Crusher Giants in game number 3. Especially seeing a Stoneforge Mystic, I like getting a couple more removal, but also a creature that could deal damage. Opponent's going to just skip the turn here. Has Cryptic Command open. We're probably in a state where I could give up. I hate saying I could, but we're also on turn 4. Haven't drawn. Had the draw. Going to have a Batterskull plus Stoneforge. That's, what, 5 damage a turn? And my opponent has a Cryptic Command open. So this is 5, 10 damage because of the Cryptic. I think we can concede here. Let's move it along. Let's move it along. It's a pretty easy loss from there. We draw, we hit a land. I play something they counter. We go from 8 down. Then I get an Unearth, which is kind of neat. I could then play the Seasoned Pyromancer, ditching 2 things here at this point, hoping that I get enough to block. They get to Yorion. They fly over us in the next 2 turns. I would only have Liliana, down-ticking Liliana, Stoneforge. They have the Yorion. Not saying that's exactly how they'd play it out, but it's possible. All right, I like a couple pillages here, and I like the Bone Crusher Giants now. I'm starting to think that the Unearths might not be the most ideal thing here. Surgicals are probably too cute. Let's take Surgicals out for Bone Crusher. We're on the play now. Let's be aggressive with that. I almost want to just get rid of the Spell Bombs as well and just bring Pillages in to deal with some stuff. Set them back a land or 2. Just keep punching in for damage. We have extra removal in the Bone Crusher Giants. I have a lot of discard, which feels really good. I have the Unearths for Skelementals. I think we can get through for enough damage. I think we're going to go aggressive here, which is nice that Rack Attack, the Obosh version, can kind of pivot a little bit to be this kind of press the damage versus just simply being a rack deck trying to stop someone that's drawing a bunch of cards. We are going to play first because we are able to attack here. We're not going to take the draw. And the hand looks fantastic. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Got a Thoughtseize. We can take a counter spell. We can get a Bone Crusher Giant down or have people discard. Looking good. Take a little bit of damage at the beginning, but that's fine. All right. We have Mystic Sanctuary, Snow Cover Forest. We have 3 white cards. I'm going to take the card that draws and also gives them their white. Snow-covered forest to beat. A couple Mystic Sanctuaries. They're going to be slow here, I think. Alright, we'll play our Shrieking Affliction down. We're going to play Bloodstained Mire. I'm going to go ahead and crack it right now. Just put the Blood Crypt into play and pass the turn. Our next play is probably Liliana pitching whatever we draw and then start with the Bone Crusher Giants. Opponents found Misty Rainforest. That was one of their draws. Let's go ahead and try to get Liliana down. See if they've gotten the counter. They have not. We'll uptick here. There's that Hallowed Fountain. We're going to get rid of a Liliana, I think. Oh, they just purge. So we have a Teferi coming down or Timelies. Teferi bounce something, we could then shoot it. I'm going to get rid of the Mind Rake, even though that would be really good to keep up with what's going on. I like the idea of maybe using Bone Crusher Giant here. And we did forget about the Celestial Purge on the Hallowed Fountain. My opponent could play. This is fine, though. Cool. I'm going to bounce Shrieking, I presume. Does so. Which is fine. Alright, let's play Shrieking here. Let's Bone Crusher Giant as well. Let's get the Teferi off. Pass the turn. It's nice to have a Bolt here now. This Mystic Sanctuary should be coming into play tapped, so the only thing they could have drawn recently is an Archmage Charm to stop the Liliana. So this is why we sequenced this. Alternatively, we could have played Liliana, but if I'm upticking, then what am I getting rid of? It would have been a kind of a hard one to decide on. Also, not having a creature into play, this Timely is just gaining life. That's all it's doing. We have an Abundant Growth here off of a Forest, so we know those were 2 cards they drew recently. We have a follow-up to Fairy here as well. And they might bounce this to hand. They do so. Alright. I think this is a great opportunity to try to get the Liliana down. I could also be working towards Obosh. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a potential 5th. Having Liliana down could stop Yorion from being too brutal to us. Let's go ahead and play Lily. I'm going to uptick here. I'm going to get rid of this Bolt. We're going to empty our hand here. They got rid of a breeding pool. So they have Timely, Mystic Sanctuary, and Unknown card. It's interesting to potentially be playing this Obosh coming up because the Timely becomes slightly better. We have a snow-covered island into play. We have this going up here for the Teferi. Not too concerned about that card. Ah, Pillage. I wonder if they have a counter here. Timely, Mystic, and one Unknown card here. They did not play Yorion, but Yorion's only getting Abundant Growth and then gets nailed by the Liliana. This looks like a great card to hit. Or give it a shot at hitting. Let's test the waters here and see if they have another. I don't really care if they put the Mystic Sanctuary into play and get the Celestial Purge back. That's fine with me right now. That'll be their play coming up. Alright. They just return, make us discard our own Liliana. That's fine. They had the Purge play as well. It looks like they're going to do Mystic Sanctuary, get back Cryptic, but if they play Yorion here, that's fine. We'll play Obosh down. They get to Teferi. Stoneforge. Oh, okay. Well, we know all the cards in their hand so far. Sword of Fire and Ice. Mystic Sanctuary picking up a Purge. So they'll have a Purge in hand. They're going to play their Sword of Fire and Ice. They have Timely, and then they're going to draw a Purge here. We draw a land. This has protection from red and black. Let's take a turn here to play Bone Crusher Giant out. If they, for whatever reason, decide Teferi's the route to go for this, which I doubt they will, but if they do find that as what they want to be doing, then we can shoot Stoneforge. Not at end step, but next turn. It'll probably get protection, though, so we'll probably have to deal with this sword. Alright. So protection from blue and from red here. We don't have the fatal pushes because I didn't bring those back in. So we have to beat 5 damage a turn. Looks like our Bant Yorion player gets us here. I guess I can swing back for 4. Make them discard as well, depending on what they've got. It's just a Purge. It's just a Purge, right? Alright, we're going to slam Obosh here. This means Bone Crusher does 8 if it connects. They get rid of a card here. They decide to purge Bone Crusher Giant, which means they actually take 4 here, which is interesting. I'm going to play the land and pass turn. They have a Timely that they're probably casting here. They don't see them playing Yorion down. Teferi bounces Obosh. Not much I can do with that. They're going to hit me for 5 here. I need exactly Fatal Push or Liliana, it looks like. 2 additional damage. So maybe purging one of the islands, it would have delayed it by a turn. Liliana is no longer an out. And fetching means that actually Yorion itself is lethal. What are we going to do, though? Pretty good. A good value deck. We gave it a good shot. We took it to game 3. Our opponent gets us here. They have a Sword of Feast and Famine to follow this up. It is almost frustrating that this isn't like a rack that would have hit once. What is kind of interesting here is if Teferi wasn't there, we could potentially do something with his Lightning Bolt. Let's just have some fun. Let's blast Yorion here. Pass the turn. Just having a little bit of fun. Get rid of that guy. Obosh gets bounced here. They hook up this. They hit us for 5. They win the game. Good plays, opponent. Good plays. That's at least how I envision the end of this game going. But maybe they won't bounce. Maybe they'll play something else. Who knows? Who knows? Teferi bouncing Obosh feels a bit disappointing. You got me, opponent. You got it. Bounce. Attach. Hit. Pass turn. End game. Hooks it up. Plays the land. Plays another sword. Decides to go the full force here. Bounce Obosh. Attack. You guys. Good games. Well played, opponent. A deck drawing cards. Just didn't get ahead of it in game number 3. Gave it our shot. They take it down. We got a loss in the books. We'll see you in the next match. Currently, 1-1 playing Obosh Raktak here in Modern. Seeing what we can put together. Taking down one companion, losing to the next companion. And who knows what kind of announcements are coming this coming Monday for companions. We found match 3 here. Let's play some Magic. Alright, now we have to decide, do we play first or second? I think because we're a little more rack-like, we'll play second. We'll show the Obosh. My sham wow fella is going to be nervous. We have a Lurrus to beat. We have a hand that we can definitely work with. We'll keep. So we can Inquisition them, we can Fatal Push, we have the bolts, we have good removal. Probably not bad to see here because we have a Lurrus across the way. Verdant Catacombs here. I'm going to play the basic Swamp. We're going to just Inquisition them. We're going to do that because I don't want to give them necessarily what they need here. We have a Kroxa, we have a Fatal Push. We have a Tarmogoyf. I literally don't care about any of this. I mean, I guess the Kroxa is a discard spell. Let's just take Kroxa. That's fine. I can kill a lot of this. Maybe I kill the Tarmogoyf off. I mean, I have to kind of save the Bolt for Lurrus, but I'm using the Fatal Push on Tarmogoyf. There's not much else in this hand that I care about. Maybe they'll Fatal Push the Lightning Skelemental. I won't get in for 6. It seems odd that they won't fetch here. They do. We're good. We're good. Overgrown Tomb. Mountains are up next. Bobble played. That makes Lurrus a little bit more frustrating to deal with. Black Cliff Cleaves. Plays a Tarmogoyf. Our turn. They draw a card. We get a Skelemental. We're going to be able to hit them with these Skelementals next. We're going to go ahead and play the Fatal Push down and pass turn. This gives them the opportunity to play the land, play the Lurrus, get the Bobble, but we have the Lightning Bolt. And then we'll follow this up with double Skelementals here and try to close this game out. Raging Ravine tapped. Inquisitions. Alright. We'll allow the Inquisition to go. Don't want to fire the bolt off. We want them to go ahead and take the bolt. They don't, though. So none of this was played, so that's what they have left here. We have an Unearth. That is mildly brutal to them. Let's go ahead and hit with the Skelemental. Skelemental hit. Lightning Bolt Lurrus. Unearth Skelemental. Hit. Hit. See what the 2 cards they ditch here. Kroxa is an option coming up. They get rid of Fatal Push in the Forest. We are going to have to ditch something here. More than likely, we're going to ditch the Urborg. But I could ditch this Lightning Bolt and just plan to Skelemental them. So we're going to see Kroxa here. I could also... Theoretically, I could wait here. You know what? Unearth might be what we pitch here. Then land and hopefully Obosh in 2 turns. Crocs is going to be tough. We'll get rid of the Unearth. Okay, an unknown card here. Liliana is an absolute crazy draw. Absolute crazy draw. Make them sacrifice. Don't care about that last card. Go ahead, opponent. We have the Bolt up for the Lurrus. Maybe Obosh is coming down. Land. Are we going to suit up the Raging Ravine here? No, it's Lurrus. Of course it's Lurrus. Plays Bobble. We'll end step the Bolt here. Bolted. Off it goes. Top of the library is an Urborg. This is fine. We float mana. We play this down. We keep this. We uptick to get rid of whatever card they drew. They Abrupt Decay our Liliana. This is fine. We're going to get Obosh down. They're going to have 2 draws here. About as clean as we could be at this point in the game. We have Obosh. They'll have Bobble and 2 cards drawn. We're a discard deck, and we have the better threat currently out compared to Raging Ravine. I also am not sure they can really kill Obosh unless they have Assassin's Trophy. However, Obosh does trade with Kroxa, and that could be interesting. Land drop plus. Alright. Well, Tarmogoyf blocks well. We'll wait. Lightning Bolt does 6. Doesn't do enough to kill the Tarmogoyf. We can throw this one upstairs if we need to. And if they attack me, I don't block. Cool, cool. Bonus Liliana here. This is nice. Liliana, down tick, kill Tarmogoyf, swing with Obosh, swing with the Lightning Bolt here. Probably enough. Paying a cost here. It's an instant that they have. Boots up a Raging Ravine. In response to this boot up, I think I'm going to go ahead and actually bolt the Raging Ravine. I'm going to do this so that I do kill the Tarmogoyf here. They bolt Liliana in response. They lose Raging Ravine. Trigger here happens off the Liliana. They lose Tarmogoyf. We get in for 6 damage, and we pass it back. Board's clear. Top deck wars are commencing here. Lucky for us, they always have to play out a creature, and we can find ourselves a Rack would be the best, but also Shrieking Affliction would be a-okay. Best top decks are Liliana, Unearth, Skelemental, Seasoned Pyromancer, Rack, Davriel, more bolts. Probably not Thoughtseize and Inquisition. We don't need any more lands. We've already got our 5 drop down. Mindrake would be okay, but not ideal. We need something to pressure. What do we got here? An Inquisition. I don't think I'd fire that off, but they don't know I'm a Rack deck yet. We haven't really shown them that aspect here. Oh, playing that so they can play Kroxa. This makes sense. And leaving certain things in. Makes sense. Good play. I see. I see line. Alright, show me the Rack. The Rack is probably the best card here. They leave Lurrus, they leave Bobble in play. We take 3. I don't need to attack. Rack into play, pass turn. Whatever. I tapped Urborg by accident. Take 6, go to 1. They need a card that removes Rack here. They cannot attack. That felt good. Take 6. 1 damage, take 6. There we go. Jund Lurrus, losing game 1. Bolt coming as well. We are in the clear. Alright, my opponent actually uses their graveyard quite a bit in this version. I'm going to consider Surgicals, Soul Guide Lanterns, Spell Bombs, that like. I don't believe this is a matchup I care about Pillage, and a lot of their creatures are too big for Anger to really matter. The Pillage could be nice against something like the Raging Ravine, so that's something to consider. It's very difficult for Liliana to take care of. Something we might want to consider. Bone Crusher Giant's actually a decent card. A little hard because we saw a Fatal Push for them to kill. They need to activate Revolt. It's a 4/3, blocks nicely against Tarmogoyf for the most part since we'll be going after their graveyard. Is it worth it? We have Fatal Push for almost all of the things that we saw except for Lurrus. We have Lightning Bolt to take care of Lurrus and go damage to face. Unearth because they're going to be killing a lot of our things. I think realistically this might be like a couple Mind Rakes out. And then maybe like, honestly, maybe a Thoughtseize. Maybe like 2 Thoughtseizes. You have to remember that they don't have anything above 2. They played Lurrus. So Fatal Pushes are excellent. But Thoughtseizes aren't hitting anything like exceptionally high here. Spellbomb seems like one of the better things to be bringing in because I want to draw cards. I could also use the Soul Guide Lanterns to pick off a few things. This Surgical, I want like a 1 of here. I might pull out a Liliana here. I have 1 extra Mind Rake here too. This might actually be worth just the Surgical with the idea that if I find a Kroxa, I really get a big card there. I could even potentially get like a Tarmogoyf if I've gotten rid of enough Kroxas or have a Spell Bomb in play. These feel correct. I think we have an opportunity to potentially outvalue my opponent. I am keeping a bunch of Lilianas in here because Liliana is one of the better ways to clear. And we can do this because we have Obosh at the top end. So with that, we'll go ahead and submit this. It may be a little bit off and incorrect to go so much after the graveyard, but seeing that they're Lurrus and a Kroxa deck makes me feel more confident in committing a little more to the graveyard. It's really hard to say no to this hand. I have an Unearth, which can be just cycled. I have 2 Bolts, and I have an Inquisition to take a peek at their hand. I'm going to go ahead and keep it. We're needing a 3rd land at some point, and they're probably going to go ahead and tackle our hand, if you will. We're going to start leaving this open instead of the revealed. Lurrus over here doing Lurrus things. Do they want to protect their hand, or do they want to deal with some of this that's coming down the pipeline? What do you want, opponent? And I might fetch Shock here. Alright, we're definitely playing Marsh Flats. We're going to set up a Lightning Bolt. We'll cycle Unearth quickly if we need to. Alright, bonus Liliana here. I guess I'll just leave those open. It keeps popping out. Keeps popping out. We have 2 sorceries here. I'm about to put a land, and this would be an instant, making Tarmogoyf a no-go. They have a land as well. Smells like a Tarmogoyf. It's a Renin 6. Alright, I hate to do this, but we're going to go ahead and bolt the Renin 6. Renin 6 plus Lilianas are a problem. We need our next land. We had a Fatal Push, which isn't the worst. I am going to go ahead and kill the Renin 6. Just continuously getting to do that action is just going to null and void our kind of rack side of our deck. And it makes Liliana feel really inadequate, considering we're trying to lean on her here. Looks like my opponent just tosses it back my way, which pretty okay with that. We need double red. We already have double black here. Let's go ahead and slam a Liliana here. I'm going to go uptick and I'm going to get rid of Unearth. We're going to hold on to our other Liliana as long as we can. This could be easily bolt. Unearth isn't hitting anything for me. This could enable their Kroxa as well. We'll just see what happens. Mountain goes to the bin. 4 cards. 1 Wooded Foothills to crack here for our opponent. And we have a Liliana sitting on 4. Tap land and continues on. No Abrupt Decay at the end step. Really didn't play anything. I'm a little surprised. Bolts Liliana. Tap land. Tarmogoyf. That's it. Well, not a whole lot for me to do here. I think it's just Fatal Push here. I can play Castle out. I could uptick the Liliana. I feel like they have maybe another bolt here. This just seems a bit odd to have bolted it and not have like the way to finish off the Liliana. So I guess we play Castle here. We're going to go ahead and shoot this. I'd like to get two things out of hand, but I'm not going to. I'm going to play new Liliana. That way we have a Liliana above the threshold of bolt. Up here, we're almost at the point where they're going to be able to Lurrus and then play something follow-up here. And that's what's kind of got me worried. But they'll have to hit a land, probably. Land, Lurrus on 3, something on 2, which looks like that's what they got to. So there's Lurrus. Then they'll play a Tarmogoyf down here. Now we need like a Fatal Push. Land drop's not terrible here either. We do hit a land drop, so I get to play a land down. I'm going to go ahead and Obosh here. And I think I just want to get rid of that last card in hand. It puts Liliana up to 5, saving it from the Tarmogoyf, and then I have the Obosh here to block properly. Make them just top deck an answer. There's a Dark Confidant. Well, that didn't really do anything different here. Down ticking with Liliana just means they get to replay the Tarmogoyf. At this point, they only get to replay Dark Confidant. It's probably it's the same result. This way I can down tick Liliana twice. And if we get her up 2 more times here, things could get interesting. We have our own castle here to activate. We can activate looking for Fatal Push or Bolt. Definitely something I want to be doing with the Lurrus here. Cycle is a Peat land. We have 2 cards for my opponent. Raging Ravine and 1 unknown card. This is now a 5-6. Obosh trades. Obosh trading might be worth it here. If we get like a Fatal Push here off the top, we can Fatal Push the Tarmogoyf, down tick the Liliana, and then they have the Raging Ravine, but we clear the Lurrus. There's clearly a lot of advantage going on here with this Lurrus. If we get a Nile Spellbomb, we can kind of maybe mess with the Tarmogoyf's power and toughness here too. Alright, so we get a Shrieking Affliction. Get a Shrieking Affliction. I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot here at spinning the wheel to get a different card. We take a touch of damage here. Looking for that Fatal Push. Hit a Skelemental. Let's go ahead and make them sacrifice a creature. They'll sacrifice Tarmogoyf here. We'll get a Shrieking Affliction into play, and we'll pass the turn. This does a little bit of damage this turn. They'll get to attack with a Lurrus, gaining it back. I can Skelemental, but I'll have to get through somehow at this Tarmogoyf. This is not looking ideal in this state. They decide to bring back the Renin 6 instead. I'm going to use the Peat land and use the Peat land plus the Renin 6 to get around the Shrieking Affliction piece that I have here. Liliana hits the bin here. Shrieking Affliction. Land drop for our opponent. I do get to hit him for 6 plus some extra damage here. Cycles with Peat land. Looking for a 2-drop to land here. They fail to do so. This is our chance. If I hit him for 6 here, they take 7, 8, but then they gain 3 back. Let's go ahead and Liliana. Force the Renin 6 or the Raging Ravine here. They're going to have to get rid of this Liliana. And then I'll follow it up with my own Skelemental here. They're above Shrieking Affliction, so they're good on that front. We've stopped half of the engine. The Renin 6 is the other half of the engine here. Skelemental plus Mind Rake would be pretty nasty. Boots up Raging Ravine, makes it a 4-4, hits us, going to 10. Okay. Rack is nice here. We can Rack plus Skelemental. This is a reasonable amount of damage we're going to be doing here. Now, I could hit the Ren in 6. They're going to just kill me in 2 turns with the Rage and Ravine anyway. So we're going to go face here and hope that this discard 2 and some of this damage can get enough through that we'll have a shot here. It's going to be tight, though. They're going to be at 3. They're going to uptick, pick up a card. Probably Peatland. Whether they want to cycle that or not, that's up to them. We're going to get hit for the 5 damage here now. And I realistically need just a Fatal Push. A blocker wouldn't be terrible, but a Fatal Push would be ideal. Alright, we miss on the Fatal Push. We're going to go digging for it again. We had a Soulscar Lantern. And that'll do it, because this will come in, and I don't have enough to kill them. Let's not show them the Guide Lantern. Alright, Jund being Jund. Lurrus just took over that game. As we could see, there's a Seasoned Pyromancer. That would have been decent. What do we change here? We're on the play now. I don't think there's much I can change here. Can I bring out 2 lanterns for something more impactful or powerful? I'm almost feeling like a Pillage would make sense, but then they have that Ren in 6, which would be a problem. Maybe I just try to hit with a Thoughtseize on turn 1 and stop a Ren in 6. If we stop the Ren in 6, we look okay. Almost want to bring one more Mind Rake back in. Mind Rake over 1 Bolt. Maybe over a Shrieking Affliction, actually. Just helps me catch up. We did see Dark Confidant. Maybe that's worth a Bone Crusher Giant or 2 instead of the Shrieking Afflictions. That could be a thing. That could be a thing. Be more aggressive. Thoughtseize, Bone Crusher Giant, just slam in there. Alright. We'll try that line. We need to make sure their value engine doesn't happen. Now, we took out cards. We can go ahead and play first to get that Thoughtseize or Inquisition before my opponent attacks my hand. 2 discard spells before the game begins would be really nice. There's a Spell Bomb and a Fatal Push. But we also have the Seasoned Pyromancer. I really kind of hate this hand. I sort of hate this hand a lot. We'll go ahead and play a Spell Bomb out and pass turn. It can be a draw in the future. Look at the Seasoned Pyromancer. Try to get some value out here. The removal's nice, but that's about all we have going for us. I guess Spell Bomb with Lurrus is a nice interaction we can avoid here. Verdant Catacombs. Cracks the Verdant Catacombs. We're going to see some sort of Inquisition Thoughtseize here. Alright, do they want to take my stuff or do they want to prevent me from drawing in the future? I have a feeling it's going to be taking the Seasoned Pyromancer. And they do so. Alright, the Bauble, they get to redraw here. We get an Unearth. Well, that's fancy. Unearth is kind of nice. I don't particularly want to lose all my stuff, though. Let's go for it. Let's ditch land Fatal Push here. Means I won't have anything for Lurrus, but let's go for it. Ooh. Oh! That's really nice. Let's go ahead and Inquisition here. We can steal something else and surgical it away if I want to. We have a Scavenging Ooze. How much do I care about a Scavenging Ooze? Not a whole lot. I only have one more Unearth left. Scavenging Ooze could grow reasonably. This Croxa, though, is really tempting to snag here. We'll stop on my opponent's draw and snag the Croxa out of hand. The Bauble plus Lurrus is a little bit frightening, but we have the Spell Bomb, so I'm going to go for that. Draw step, Surgical Extraction. They only had 2 Croxas, but we get a look at what they drew here, which looks like they drew an Inquisition. That's fine. Pulse, 2 Abrupt Decays, Random Seal Fire, Scavenging Ooze, Tarmogoyf, Stark Confidants. Alright. There's a lot of nasty things here. We'll see how they want to proceed. They have a random Inquisition over there as well. Overgrown Scavenging. Oh, there we go. Okay. Tap land. I'm going to go ahead and attack with the Seasoned Pyromancer. I'll offer this trade. Currently, the Scavenging Ooze doesn't grow, which is really nice. Alright, Inquisition plus Lurrus plus these cards here. Spellbomb's probably going to be cracked. We have the Cliffs here. We're Inquisitioning. I'm thinking that the Spellbomb is just great to crack off here now. They do their own Baron Mort. Because then Lurrus isn't as bad. They could attack for 2 if they wanted to. Oops. Let's go ahead and eat their graveyard. Picking up a Bloodstained Mire. We're good on Obosh here. Good to cast Obosh soon-ish. Liliana is a great draw. Liliana removes Scavenging Ooze. I'm going to remove Scavenging Ooze, hit for 3 here. They don't have red up. They have Raging Ravine and 2 unknowns. Unlikely to have a haste threat. In we go. We'll hope they don't get rid of my Blood Crypt somehow. I don't think that's possible with their build, since we took all the Croxas. Raging Ravine tapped. Lurrus into play, probably. Okay. Simply done. Simply done. I'll take this last Blood Crypt here. Removal spell would be fantastic. We get a rack, which is actually really kind of tasty as well. We could play Obosh here. We could swing with Seasoned Pyromancer. If they don't block, they take 4. They go to 6. I leave Liliana alone. I have Obosh plus that, and then we have the Liliana to follow up later. And they might find this really nice because they can go, oh, okay. I can just play Scavenging Ooze here and pass. And then I'll have Rack plus Liliana upticks. We're going to pass the turn. Make it sort of look like I forgot Liliana was there. This Rack is too priceless to not play here. I'm hoping they play Scooz plus something from their hand. Scooz in play. Land drop. No attack. That's how we like it. Discard spells. Let's go. I mean, double rack's pretty good too. Double rack in play up. Making them go down to 2. I believe swinging potentially lethal here. Maybe I don't swing. I don't think I have to swing here. We'll just let Racks do their thing here. They have to now deal with Liliana and Rax and Obosh and Seasoned Pyromancer, and that putting something accidentally into the yard. Plus these are doing 2 a turn. They can't play a card here without getting rid of both of these. And if they don't play a card or whatever, we have the Liliana to make them discard a card. I do know they have a random Maelstrom Pulse somewhere in that deck. But if they're playing 3 to play the Maelstrom Pulse to get rid of 2 racks here, I have a high chance of just something off the top winning this game. They do that. They're left with 2 mana here. Play something else. I could see Lurrus just coming in. They decide Scavenging Ooze is the play. We're going to just block with Elemental. Seems good. I don't want to put Seasoned Pyromancer into the yard at all. I don't want them to randomly pump this or something. We don't really lose anything. I'm not threatening to kill this. This way, this Verdant Catacombs has to be popped as well to trigger to kill Seasoned Pyromancer. They now have only 1 blocker here. I have a Liliana that could downtick. Liliana downtick probably just eats Scavenging Ooze right now. Do we have it? Do we have it? The Obosh Rack Attack. Got something here. K command, Seasoned Pyromancer shoots this. Fair enough. They now eat. They gain 1. This does 4 right now. It'll do 4 because I'll uptick Liliana. We win? Be a discard spell. Fatal Push is nice. We'll Fatal Push. Scavenging Ooze. I realistically could Liliana downtick here and kill the Lurrus. That is an option. So here, downtick, there's really nothing that they can do. I swing for 6, win. We have the rack as well, doing 4 damage next turn as well. 3 companion matchups. Currently 2, 1. Obosh Rack Attack. Doing well. See you in the next one. In we go. Playing our next match. Playing the rack. Not just the rack. Not the sit back control rack. But no, the attack rack. Here with Obosh. The Prey Piercer. Doing decently. Running into only companion matches. And actually taking it to the tooth and nail here. The nail biters. The final cards. A few matches now. A few matches. It's going well. Let's find our 4th opponent. 4th opponent has been found. Let's play some Magic. I don't want to pick if I have to go first or not. It's just adding complexity. Let's play first this time. We're bouncing back and forth between keeping to what we should and shouldn't be doing, probably. We have a 60-card deck here. We have Obosh being declared. Opponent declares Gyruda. Okay. Okay, this one's interesting. Shoot. Do I like a Skelemental on turn 3? Versus Gyruda? This is probably like Gyruda ramp. Let's try it. Let's just be dumb about it. Davriel, Skelemental. Maybe I'll get a removal of sorts here. We're going to go ahead and fetch. No shock, pass turn. Just give them a heads up of what they're playing against. The kind opponent that we are. Opponent takes the draw step as well. Now this is evens, right? Triome. There's a Fatal Push, which probably won't be doing anything. Probably not, but I do know they have clone type effects sometimes. Depends on what variation of Gyruda we're looking at. I'm going to smack them with a Skelemental here, I think. What do we got on 2? Gyruda. Godless Shrine. Triome. 2-drop. We can leave that alone. I don't need to Fatal Push that. Unearth's a nice draw here. Let's go ahead and get in here with the Skelemental. Make them discard. We can Davriel Unearth next turn as well. Feeling pretty decent from where we started. We're going to be doing 12 damage across the next 2 turns here. And if they continue to put out cards. The Davriel possibly could be doing the final couple points of damage we need. We do have this Davriel into an Obosh. The question is, do I wait for the Obosh then unearth? I think that's too late. I think I'm just going to Skelemental twice here, make them discard 4. We have a chump block here, and then a sacrifice. It tramples over. It's 6 damage either way. It gets a basic, probably a snow basic. It does so. In for 6, discard 2, please, opponent. We'll be making them discard 3 next turn. So 2, 4, draw 1, play 1 out. They'll have 4 cards remaining for the Unearthed Davriel combo. We can do it. We can do it. Discards Ashen Rider, Sylvan Caryatid. This Fatal Push is feeling horrendous. 4 cards remain. Easily a land in there somewhere. Opponent's trying to ramp up, obviously. Land drop, Overgrown Tomb. It is untapped. 4 mana to kill and go up on their own lands here. That's pretty good for them. Now we're not going straight into Davriel into Obosh here. Need to watch our life total here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th land here. When this comes into play, you can get this Ashen Rider. 4, 5. Maybe I just hit him with the Lightning Skelemental here and hope. And hope that the Ashen Rider doesn't obliterate us. Follow up with a Davriel. Might be enough. The Ashen Rider is going to blow up 2 lands here if they do get it out. I'm going to connect for 6. We're hoping it's land drop plus Gyruda. I can't believe I'm hoping for such ridiculousness. In for 6, goes to 4. And we have our opponent 1 card in hand. 2 top deck bolts would do it too. Another Skelemental, another Unearth would appear to do it. We'll see. 6th land. Davriel is worth at least 2 damage, but we're going to see an Ashen Rider here that's going to take care of 2 lands, which is pretty decimating for us. Alright, they follow this up with another Gyruda. These are legendary. Restoration Angel to flicker Gyruda. That's fine. This is going to combo out, isn't this? We have a Phyrexian Metamorph here to copy Restoration Angel to blank Gyruda again. They didn't hit too much that was terrifying here. Bolt? Liliana. Alright, so I could Liliana down tick here. I can Davriel. If I Davriel, we don't quite win this game. I almost need to Davriel after Obosh. I feel like Liliana down tick's not a bad idea here. Then I can use Liliana up tick plus Davriel and maybe not even down tick with Davriel. Let's make them sack a creature. This kind of makes it all dependent on whatever they have in the hand. They have 1 card. How bad could it be? Famous last words. I'd love to be able to just Obosh following turn Davriel. It's a few turns away, but I think we've got the best shot here. And what do? Do they attack me or do they care about Liliana here? They just go for me. Not interested, they say. I guarantee you this Fatal Push just does nothing. Literal do nothing card. It's a great pitch for Liliana. That's about it. We need to avoid this dude. They use the one from the Companion Zone, by the way. So they have this one. They have 2 more somewhere in the deck. They have Phyrexian Metamorphs. I don't know how many they have. I'm not very familiar with the list we're playing against. Uptick Liliana, play Obosh, pass turn, hope the Davriel, and win the game. We got something coming here. With 6 mana. Primeval Titan. They can hit me for 12. I'm going to make them discard that last card. We'll see what the crazy lands they have here. I'm hoping no Radiant Fountains. I'd feel really awkward if they had that. I see one over here. Hoping it's a one of. Please be a one of. Don't have anything that boosts these, please. That'd be kind. A Shrieking Affliction wins this game. No Rack or Shrieking, I think I have to play Obosh and hope. Hope for no crazy top deck. We have a Blast Zone and a Field of the Dead. This does not kill us. It doesn't kill us because I can kill one of the zombies here. Oh, there's more zombies. Okay. This might kill us. I'm gonna pop a zombie off here. There's a few cards that win this for us. We don't have to tick up Liliana here. There's a Skelemental. Does Skelemental win this? No, because they block with Primeval Titan. Does Davriel win this? No. Does Obosh win this? No. Does Seasoned Pyromancer tokens blocking give us a shot at winning this? Yes. Liliana Uptick does almost nothing here. If they get a land drop, they're going to have 2 zombies to play around. Seasoned Pyromancer here. I play Obosh. Obosh does kill Gyruda. That's about all it's doing, though. Davriel's probably not a win condition due to this Blast Zone. We're going to pass the turn here with Seasoned Pyromancer tokens open. And I'm going to keep Liliana where Liliana sits. We'll see where they want to put the Blast Zone. They might put it on 3, which makes the Skelemental not worth it here. When it explores, we are on their turn, by the way. Here they come. We'll see what kind of Primeval Titan lands they get. They're going to have a whole bunch of zombies. I suppose that the only line we really have here is Davriel plus a rack effect. It's really the only line I have. Because these zombies that are going to be here from the fields are easily going to block Skelemental here. Davriel and Bolt looks like it potentially could do something. Alright, Seasoned Pyromancer tokens. We gotta block at least 6. I don't think I've got to block anything else here, so we'll leave our Elemental token back just for grins. This does not have Trample. We're at 3. We're doing something else here. We Farseek. Get another zombie, so I need a Bolt. I can do it with a Bolt because I left an Elemental here. Because I swing with Elemental, Elemental, maybe. We'll take the top of the library. Inquisition. We have an Obosh. That is it. This one was really close. I think we can win this next game, though. I don't want to show them the Davriel. Let me go ahead and show them another Skelemental to kind of cement that I'm a graveyard deck. And I'm going to swing with this in case they misblock. I don't expect them to. Land drop here in Davriel, it might be worth going for it. We're going to have a triple block here. If I would have had a Bolt, we'd win this because of the Skelemental. Alright. They got us. Close game again. Alright. We gotta win it in games 2 and games 3. Gyruda combo here using Ashen Riders, Primeval Titans, and Gyruda. Let's begin a sideboard. Surgicals, Spell Bombs feel good. Soulguard Lantern even does. I think Pillages could be useful, and I almost feel like a couple Angers possibly as well. Bone Crusher Giant, probably not so much. Fatal Pushes, easy out. I think Thoughtseize and Inquisitions are all decent, but we can probably drop 2 Inquisitions here. I'm going to drop a Shrieking Affliction as well. And let's drop... I kind of know I'm a graveyard deck, but I'm going to keep the Unearths in. Let's do 7 here. Let's take 1 less Soul Guide Lantern out. Let's do... The reason I want the Angers is in case I need to kill something that goes wide with all of them. And that's where the Pillages don't even feel very good. Maybe I just need to keep myself with an Anger to clear the board on an off chance that we need to do that. Maybe not worry about the Pillages. My opponent's trying to ramp. I think it's just this stuff. I think it's just this stuff. And let's keep the Shrieking Affliction in. We need to take their combo piece out with the Thoughtseizes, or get them when they're going off with Gyruda here with the Spell Bombs, Surgicals, Soul Guide Lanterns. Mind Rake's okay. I'm staring at this Pillage a little bit longer before we commit. We're probably okay, though. If I can get like a Gyruda and a Primeval Titan kind of out of the deck and into the graveyard, I feel like we've got a good shot at this. Clear some of these out. We'll go ahead and play first as well. Again, we're trying to do a little more attacking, not so much rack style. They didn't see the rack either. Oh, this... Oh, yes. Yes. This. Opponent mulls to 6. Thoughtseize Surgical. Give me that Gyruda. Give me that Gyruda. If they go again with the Gyruda, we could do something. Gemstone. Pitching a... Oh, we're all in on this, aren't we? Aren't we, fella? Man, if I strip a good card here with this Thoughtseize, they get rid of a Cavern of Souls. All right, Thoughtseize. Give me the good ones. Resto. And Acid Moss. And they have their own Bajuka Bog. I don't like any of this. We'll take the Acid Moss because it sets me back 1. And I'm not going to shoot Surgical at it just yet. Not yet. Maybe later. Verdant Catacombs. Cracking Verdant Catacombs. We're going to be ramping already. Ramping already would be brutal. If we miss the ramp spell, that's at 2. Temple Garden. Shocks it in. Steve. Alright. That is a ramp spell. We can hold surgical for a little longer here. Let's go ahead and shock in. Let's go ahead and get 2 rack effects in here. And we'll pass the turn. This will possibly slow my opponent down. That is at least the hope. Tap land here from the Tribe Elder, unless they decide, well, I'll just go ahead and start attacking you. Swamp here, they have Bojuka Bog, they have a potential Resto. Rack effects trigger. We do need another land. Another land would be good. Liliana would be fine too. Decides not to Bojuka Bog. It's a Radiant. So we have Bojuka and Restoration Angel in hand. Well. It's a card. I think I just go ahead and crack it off here to draw a card. We hit our land drop, which is nice. Needed that. So now I have the Liliana that can go ahead and get rid of the Restoration Angel, if that's what they play here. They choose not to. I don't blame them. Opponent's slowing down. Thoughtseize would be nice. Acid Moss is us. Well, we didn't think we'd need to worry about that card, but maybe we needed to. Say the Bojuka and Restoration. They play the Bojuka Bog here as well. They have Restoration Angel, and that is it. If I top deck a land, I get rid of the Restoration Angel. I don't top deck a land. Bummer. Well, we'll pass back. They'll take some damage. They can play Gyruda from the sideboard. They take a bit of damage from the racks. It's got to be just Gyruda, right? Gyruda, let's spin. How bad do we think this is going to be? Mills over, gets a Phyrexian Metamorph. They get to repeat this. So in response to this, we can go ahead and nail now. Oh, I can't nail the Phyrexian Metamorph. I mean, I could. Actually, I don't know what I can do here. I can hit the Phyrexian Metamorph and hope they just whiff totally here. I guess it doesn't matter because it's the 4 cards that they turn over. They turn over a Gyruda, which is actually sort of the card that I want to be killing here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the Gyruda here. So they don't hit any more. They could hit a lot of cards here. And actually removing the Gyruda might be a bad idea. We have a Resto and we have a Worm Coil to deal with here. Alright, they have Primeval Titans to hit and Ashen Riders. Let's hope they don't hit any of that, right? Alright, they hit a Resto. We're spinning the wheels still. Flickers Gyruda. What else can it hit? Restoration and Primeval Titan. They probably play another Restoration Angel here. Well, we didn't get rid of the Acid Moss. I didn't try to do that at upkeep. So we get kind of nailed for it here. Primeval Titan's where they're stopping. We have 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 damage. I do not have enough to deal with this. I can shock in. I can Skelemental. They can block. I can't even Skelemental. I don't have the double red. Here, we'll put a Liliana in. Maybe it's a distraction enough. Looks like Gyruda combo gets us, though. Not being able to strip out the Gyruda in the hand or in the sideboard there. If we were just battling a Restoration Angel, we'd be in great shape. Looks like we got another loss here. That's alright though. 4 companion techs down. Holding our own. Going 2-2 thus far. We got one more match coming up here. Got one more. We know it's Wormcoil Resto over there. They have lethal. Gets rid of Wormcoil. They can bounce the Gyruda and keep going. I think we're good. We're good? Let's let him attack. Let him attack. Double rack. Maybe with a quicker hand we'd be good. We're going to pop these off with the Blast Zone. Does so. Does so. Still takes rack damage. Doesn't prevent the trigger. 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Opponent goes to combat attacks. And they've got us. Yep. Good games. Good games, opponent. 2-2. Going into our final match here, playing the Obosh rack attack. We'll see you in the next match. Final matches here. We're currently 2-2 playing this rack attack deck here in Modern by the Ducky. Mr. Ducky over there in that rack Discord. Let's see if we can finish on a high here. Get this final one. This has been a blast. I think this has got some real potential. Maybe every time we don't win the die roll is a good chance for us to win the game. Opponent's choice here to play first or second. Let's play some Magic. Declaring Obosh. Our opponent, Jegantha. Okay. That is the one that everything needs to be a different mana symbol. We have double Thoughtseize here. I'm going to hold this hand and we're going to go for it. My opponent's playing first. We have a removal spell as well. We have an Urza's Tower. We have a Chromatic Star. Oh boy. Oh boy. Thankfully I have some Thoughtseizes to disrupt this. A couple Thoughtseizes. My opponent's not going to have a hand here soon. Alright, we'll take the Ancient Stirring here. It's the only card I really care about. We have a Snow-Covered Forest, Emrakul, Urza's, and Allah's Dust. I'll probably hit them with at least one Thoughtseize here next, and maybe another. We have the Mine down as well. Expedition Map, that was drawn. Pretty good. Now they'll have Tron mana. Thankfully I have Pillage stuff. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize here. Take the Emrakul. We'll go ahead and Shock in here and Thoughtseize. And take the last card as well. This way, my opponent's just got a Snow-Covered Forest. They have the big Jegantha. We can get rid of that soon-ish. We'll get there. We'll get there. Expedition Map popped. They have Tron mana. There might have been a case to hold the Thoughtseize one more turn. On the off chance that right here they have something that's worth taking. But we're not going to worry about that. Blood Crypt tapped. We got the rack in play. We have Obosh coming in 2 turns. Opponent's going to take a point of damage here. We have the Elk, the Elemental. That might be what they play here. Cracks Chromatic Star. We're going to hold Bolt for either killing the Wellspring or throwing at my opponent's face. Green mana down. Looks like Jegantha here. Jegantha? Jegantha? We'll just call it the Wellspring. J Wellspring. We're at 12. This is a 5/5 too. That's a lot. That's a lot. Ironically, noting that rack and people casting things from sideboards kind of feels bad. This is definitely a matchup for our pillages, by the way. We've been looking for the matchup where the pillages matter. We found it. Thought not. Oh, no, I don't want to yield. Karn the Great Creator. Well, maybe we were too fast with our thought seizes. Maybe. Play our Marsh Flats in and pass the turn. My opponent takes a little bit of damage here. We're going to see Karn doing Karn things, I presume. We'll have an Obosh. That's a shame. We could have at least bolted them. We were a little F6 there. Didn't think they were going to randomly Thoughtseize me. Let's see what the card is. If it's Liquid Metal Coating, I'm never going to get Obosh down. We probably can scoop them up from there. It's a Sundering Titan. We can probably scoop them up from here. Probably. They'll lose their green mana. There's that going for us. Do we continue here? I take 4 here. Let's just take the draw. I'm not going to fetch. Bolt's not enough. We lose. Going to game number 2. We got these pillages. We got all the interaction that we need for the hand. Let's grab pillages. Let's get rid of some fatal pushes. Those seem pretty bad. I can get rid of the last fatal push for something like a surgical or a spell bomb. Let's take... I think that's it. Maybe I do a spell bomb because it draws a card. Surgical, we can knock them off of Tron, possibly. I kind of like the surgical. I almost like putting another surgical in here. That's what we're going to do. Extra surgical. We're going to go the full 9. We're going to get this. Let's take out... Let's just take out an Unearth. We're going to pillage them. We're going to surgical them. It's going to be great. Let's go. Match 2. We know what we're playing against. I thought it was going to be maybe like Storm. But it was very much not Storm. All right, opponent. You tricked us once. We got you this time. One thing noting that is missing from this is anything that deals with artifact removal. Observations. All right. We're going to play first. I know that gives them the draw, but we need to get to 3 for pillage and need to take out some lands here. We'll declare our Obosh, see if we can get there. This hand, although incredibly rack-like, is rather awful. We don't want to be playing these until they're discarded enough. We have a Liliana that we can't cast and a Mind Rake that actually impacts us. We'll go ahead and throw this one back. This one looks better, minus the fact that I have 1 land here. I like the pillage, I like the Thoughtseize, but we have just the 1 land. Let's go ahead and mulligan this as well. Unfortunately, we're getting a couple bad hands. This hand looks great. We can keep this. We'll get rid of both Unearth and Lightning Bolt. Let's say okay. We're going to do Marsh Flats, Blood Crypt, Inquisition, and see if we can't steal something tiny. And then follow that up with steal something mega. And then maybe go the distance. All right, we have a Chromatic Sphere. We have an Urza's Mine. I think here we can probably easily take the Expedition map. They're obviously going to be taking and using that Chromatic Sphere to make their green mana. I can Thoughtseize and then maybe we can pillage something away. There's a Sphere. So we have green mana for them. We have an Ancient Strains and Sylvan Scrying. Hitting another Bloodstained Mire's fine. We'll go ahead and Thoughtseize here. Alright, so we can take the Ancient Stirring or the Sylvan Scrying here. I kind of like taking the Sylvan Scrying here because the Ancient Stirring is not necessary to hit the exact land they need. Double Thought Knot feels bad, so we're going to go ahead and take this. See if we can't win from here. We'll go ahead and fetch Shock, or fetch Not Shock. And this way I can just pass off. F6 through the turn. We have a Pillage. We're going to probably take care of the mine if they miss a land here. Alright, they picked up another Urza's Mine. They do the Sylvan Scrying, which is what they picked up off of one of the Sphere or their natural draw here. We don't want to probably pillage immediately. We want to nail this power plant when this comes into play. So we're going to take a turn off here. And it's a good turn to take off. Let's Skelemental. Let's bash them and pass the turn. Pillage after this is okay hand. It time walks us, it time walks them. They do still have this Ancient Stirrings, though. They get rid of Ancient Stirrings and Thought Knot, needing to keep Karn and Power Plant. Plays Power Plant, passing back. They have Thought Knot, Karn. I just want to. They've been missing land drops here. Let's go ahead and pillage the power plant past turn. I want to discard because the next time this discard is used, if they don't have a land here, it's not as useful because they're just going to pick off cards that they don't care about. But I guess it's something I should do here. We'll cast it, get rid of 2 more cards here. Maybe they've got to keep some sort of ramp spell. Nature's Claim and a Thought Knot hit the bin. So they're keeping Karn and an unknown card. We need 1 more land here for Obosh, and I'll take anything off the top that progresses the game state. Perfect. Alright, we get to play and slam the biggin, the Obosh. Pass the turn. Opponent's at 2 lands here. We've got a 3/5 that hits for 6. They need to hit their land drop right here. Gotcha. Gotcha. Ooh, rack. Surgical. Ooh. Surgical hitting power plant would be delicious. Okay. I kind of want my Unearth back. Surgical is cute. What else? I guess I could take out a Lightning Bolt because it doesn't kill too much. Do Surgical, or sorry, Unearth for the idea of Skelemental or Seasoned Pyromancer. Also just a cantrip. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Bone Crusher Giant seems to be possibly an other option for these Lightning Bolts. I might do 1 here with the idea that if I get Obosh down, then Bolt is worth 6. Bone Crusher Giant could be just a 2 damage and then attack. It's a blocker. It's a blocker. We're on a little bit more of the defensive side here. Let's give it a shot. Coming down to the wire here. Match 5. Game number 3. Declaring Obosh. Let's hit a good hand. Let's make it a game. Oh, if there was a second land, I'd go. Oh, if there was a second land. Here we go again. We have 2 rack effects here. We have the Pillage, we have the Inquisitions and Thoughtseizes. We might not hit a map, though, and that's where this gets a bit dicey. I think I've got to pitch this back. These 3 cards over here aren't doing a lot. Opponent mulls to 6, we're going to join them. Mulligan. Okay, I can get behind this. We can pitch... I almost want to pitch rack here. I'm going to pitch rack because Davriel, I saw their claim, and Davriel plus Liliana is fairly strong. I'm going to get to Thoughtseize something here, and hopefully that sets them back just long enough that the Liliana and the Davriel are going to be enough here. I'm going to go ahead and also fetch and shock so I have double red and double black so I don't have any mistakes going forward here. We're going to lead with this Inquisition because that's as much as they could do this coming turn. All right. So we have an Ancient Stirrings and a Sylvan Scrying here. Dang. I want to take both of these. I wonder if they'll have a land off the top too. They make green here. Maybe I'm supposed to just take the Sylvan Scrying and let them have whatever land they get. That's probably fine. We're going to take that instead of the Ancient Stirrings. I know the Ancient Stirrings digs a little bit here, but I can Thoughtseize this coming turn. Whatever they grab with this Ancient Stirrings. So they pop their star here. I do miss a turn here with getting to cycle Unearth. There's the mine. They would have had Tron, so the Sylvan Scrying looks like the right pick here. Expedition map was really strong here for them as well. It was all very strong. Looks like I just have to Thoughtseize past turn. Take their big stuff. Hope there's no follow-up big stuff. They're going to get to Ancient Stirring here too. I'm just going to have to hope that they draw a card, the Chromatic Sphere, they play kind of everything else. I top deck a land, Liliana, get rid of the card, and we play top deck Wars with them. That's going to have to be the hope here. They're going to get Tron, they're going to play Sphere, they're going to get the Ancient Stirrings out here with the Chromatic Sphere. So it's unlikely that we're going to see their hand emptied out here because they draw off these different cards. This is pretty good. Not to mention that they could Wellspring soon in the future. Need them to really whiff here. But that's a tall order. Need them to really whiff. Alright, Star is a bit of a whiff there. Plays the Star. Needing a land drop. We don't hit a land drop, but we could make everyone discard 2. That would empty the hand of anything, and they'd have the draw plus the Star. Star's going to play this. I have at least Liliana for that. I don't draw with Unearth, unfortunately. The other thing I could do is end up unearthing the Bone Crusher Giant. Getting rid of, like, Davriel. No, I'd have to get rid of Davriel plus something else. I was thinking Davriel and Mind Rake, but I'm doing Mind Rake. We're going to cast this with Overload. We're going to get rid of Unearth and Bone Crusher Giant here. We're going to have the Jegantha, the Wellspring, J Wellspring. We avoid a Karn Liberated, so the line looks like it was the correct line. Alright, so Star here converts it to green for Wellspring. Top deck land, down tick, pass turn. Hope the next 2 cards aren't too lethal here. 2 cards. Do you have a big bomb there? Oh, shoot. Well, the answer is probably yes now. Oh, shoot. Golos. Okay. Plays a land, plays Golos down. Alright. This could be a lot worse. We are on turn 4 and needing that 3rd land, though. So they're going to get something here for... Oh, they don't even get the green mana. Oh, please, land. Land down tick Liliana. Yes. Oh, it feels good. Top deck away, my friend. Let's go. Let's go. Give me that land off the top. Give them a land. Not a green land. Oh, Blast Zone. Oh, you sneaky Blast Zone. That was pretty good. That was pretty good because now Davriel is not really worth playing here. Or is it? I don't know. We'll find out. Land drop. Dang it. Well, do I need to uptick Liliana? We'll wait. Hold this sweet card here. Oh, this is bad. Why uptick? It's just going to get blasted off by Blast Zone. I lose Davriel either way if I play or uptick, so we're just going to sit here. Obosh gets to play. Maybe they go farther up because they're worried about Obosh instead of Liliana. And then I can get Davriel and Liliana chugging away. We'll see. We'll see. I need them to miss half their deck. Give them the Sylvan Scrying. Oh, no. What is this? Ugin's the worst. Shoots Liliana. We have a Blast Zone on 3. Okay. Navriel. I don't need to make him discard a card, so we'll just pass the turn. That's 2 damage. Slow steps here. What am I, like a pillage away from maybe really shutting their deck down a little bit here? If I pillage the Urza's Mind, then they only have 4 mana, then I have just Ugin to deal with. That's just Ugin. Just Ugin. How far are we away from winning this game? Far? I understand. I understand. We're going to play Obosh here past turn. Blast Zone's going to go up to 5. More than likely. We're about to get Ugin emblemed or ulted. That won't work well with Davriel, will it? Do it. Down tick. Yes! Pretty sure we lose. I'm pretty sure we lose. It's been a good run with the rack list. Got a few places to shore up the matches, I'm sure. Get a few more things going in our favor. Maybe we need to play Blood Moon. Maybe. We did get the onslaught of companions, though. We do have that going for us. What do they do here? Oh, is that all? Is this all? I can concede, right? Maybe I get Bone Crusher Giant. Oh no, we already used that. Maybe I get Bolt. They're going to play this down too? This is going to hurt. We have a 6/6, 4/4, 4/4, another 5/5 showing up here. We have Ugin to deal with. I think our opponent's got us. We need a bridge. Wrong deck. It's been fun though. It's been a blast. We'll draw a card. Maybe I hit a bolt. Is that a sign? I can shoot this, then what? This blows up this. We take 19. We lose the game. Ugin doesn't get to see that. And we'll concede. Good games, opponent. Good games. Good games. Obosh, rack attack. 2-3 overall. I'm not totally disappointed. It was fun, to say the least. They didn't crack this to 5. I guess that kills this. Then they'd only do 14. Oh, am I going to get to trade with a Thought Knot here? Thought Knot would mean I take 15. I guess this means I get to draw one more card here. Kill the Worm Coil. They don't know. Maybe I have a Damnation in the deck. Who knows? Ugin gets to see the end. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. 2-3, though. We'll see you guys in the conclusion. Obosh, Rack Attack. Rack in Modern, specifically a companion build of Rack, Obosh Rack. And we've labeled it with Attack because in some ways you can just actually attack in with things like Skelemental, Seasoned Pyromancer, and Bolt, doing the damage instead of sitting back and taking your Rack effects and winning the game. The list is pretty sweet. I think there's a few things that could be adjusted, maybe an extra land because you're trying to get to 5. Liliana was actually relatively good. And some of the Lurrus matchups, when you had a few extra creatures, Liliana started to show a little bit of where she can't quite close the game. But the Fatal Pushes then in the Lurrus matchups, because of the mana cost restriction, definitely helped push those Fatal Pushes to be very useful. I think for me, I'm not seeing where the Surgicals, Soul Guides, and Nile Spellbombs are coming in. And it may just be when the deck was created versus when we're playing it now and where the companion meta is. Nile Spellbomb seemed good. I'm fine with that. Maybe 1 Surgical, which leaves you with 2 Soul Guide Lanterns and 1 extra Surgical to play with. I could see an extra Pillage, and I know earlier I said, oh, we don't have much Artifact, or really I said any, and we do have the Pillages. But I could see something like an extra Bone Crusher, and then we have 2 slots, which could be something else that's flexible. I could see something that's more on the lines of, another Pillage to deal with lands. I could see a Blood Moon possibly in this list. You have a good number of swamps. You might need to bring in a specific swamp-based Marsh Flats, for example, as your 22nd land if you do that. You could also, you have Obosh, but you could pivot this into like a Kroxa list as well. Now that means you bring maybe Obosh. You might bring Obosh straight into the deck. You might play some Kroxas. You might play Collective Brutalities to help with that burn matchup as well. And if you're okay with switching out and not always declaring your companion, that could be a route that you could definitely look into. I'll probably link that down below, the Kroxa Skelemental list, just so that you can see that as well in the red rack and the 8 rack. It's on our channel. We'll put a few of those links down below. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it, though. We haven't gotten to play it too much, but I think it's got some lines and legs here. It's definitely a spin on rack that you could definitely consider. I think there's something to be said about a red rack list and a white rack list, considering rack is in the black colors. Those could be options for you moving the deck forward if you don't want to be just 8 rack black. That'll do it, though. Thank you so much for watching, tuning in, like and subscribe, and as always, we'll see you in the next matches. Till then.